Now turn to section 1.7 on page 8. This is the first of the vocabulary lists which you will need to learn as part of learning Biblical Hebrew. Two notes are in order before we go through the words. First, as we will discuss more extensively in later chapters, the English that follows each Hebrew word is not technically a definition of that word. Instead, it is what is called a gloss. It is an English word or words, a short English summary that corresponds to the meaning of the Hebrew word. You must understand, though, that correspondence is never perfect. Glosses are a rough and ready word to use when going from Hebrew to English, but they do not fully exhaust nor specifically define the meaning of the Hebrew word. Secondly, we have not yet covered the rules for distinguishing between a schwa, which is vocal, and a schwa that is silent. That will be covered in chapter 2. In the words kali and ma'od in this vocabulary list, the schwa is vocal. In the word mal'ak, the schwa is silent. To this we should add a third thing. One character in these vocabulary lists has not yet been learned and will be covered in chapter 2. That is the combination of a vav with a holum above. This is what we will call a mater, and we will cover in the next chapter. It is said with a simple O sound. So the word here is adon. The vocabulary for chapter 1 are as follows. First, im, the conjunction meaning if. Second, el. El is the Hebrew word meaning God, or it can stand for the true God, which in English we tend to distinguish by using a lowercase g or a capital G. Aish, which means fire. Eretz, note that Eretz is stressed on the first syllable, is the Hebrew word glossed as earth or ground or land or country. Adam, the Hebrew word for man or mankind. And Adon, the Hebrew word for Lord, Master, or it can be used for the Lord. Next we have the Hebrew conjunction O. Recognize again that this is what we will call in the next chapter a holum vav. That the vav written with the holum above is simply the sound O. O, the conjunction meaning or. Gam, glossed as also or even or as well as. Goy, the Hebrew word for people or nation, when used in the plural, which we will discuss in a few chapters, what will be goyim, it's the word for nations other than Israel or the Gentiles, to use New Testament terminology. And davar, the Hebrew word for a word or a thing or an affair or a matter. Dam is the Hebrew word glossed as blood. Har is a hill or the hill country or a mountain. Yam is a sea or a lake. Yom, using a different vowel between the yod and the mem, is the word for day or daylight. And yomam, contrary to some of the laughs that you just echoed, is the Hebrew word for daily or by day, not a piece of trash talk on the playground. Kali is glossed as vessel or instrument or weapon. Ma'od is the Hebrew adverb meaning very, very much or exceedingly. Mal'ach is the Hebrew glossed as angel or messenger. An angel, as you can see, is a messenger from God, but a malach could also be a human messenger. Kol is the Hebrew word for voice or sound or noise. Rosh is the head, top, or chief.